Okay, so I'm going to try to talk. Underneath this camcorder, I actually can't use a phone. I need to look through a viewfinder. So I hope the sounds okay. It might be a little muffled. This is a future. It's got incredible scapes. I so much enjoy scapes that rise tall above the foliage. Oh, look at that. Wow, and a great flower on top too. Doesn't happen that often, but this one's just, whew. This is a future. I've been breeding for narrow petals, a more naturalistic form. This one's practically lavender. It's smoky. It's a smoky shade. So the reason I started to hybridize for longer petals, oh wait, see this road? There's so much building going on. These trucks have to get up the hill, and they make a lot of noise. And it's funny how that hill is right on the horizon. It's not much of a hill. It was much hillier in New York where I lived. Oh gosh, there's the guy across the street with his... There's 2 or 3 cars and trucks that on purpose intentionally make those heavy throttle noises. Okay. The QAnon noise. Okay. So these naturalistic flowers, look, I don't know, I miss the daylily form in the context of a perennial garden, because the rounded forms can end up looking like blobs, and that's a really negative way to put it, but you know, daisies are round. Many flowers are round in the daisy family, and they're wonderful, and they were intended to be that way, but man has made the daylily into something that looks like a daisy. And I was looking out my window in New York one day, and I said, this doesn't look like a daylily patch. So then I got into, I researched UFs and spiders, and I caught the bug for that. And there are some with patterns that have been produced. But I just enjoy the natural forms so much. Oh, I've got a visitor on the trellis. That sounds so good. We've got percussion across the street, and we've got singer up top. This daylily was patterning really hard until until today actually, because of the 90-degree temperatures. It's gonna be 95 today. There he goes. This is huge. This is 8 inches. It's just so subtle and beautiful. It just, the throat and the applique are just so pretty. I'm going to try not to use the word pretty constantly. It's like when Martha Stewart says everything's wonderful, wonderful. Seems I didn't feed this crop of seedlings as much as I usually do. So when I see something with a great scape, patterns quite a bit. Not going to see the kind of patterns as before, but it's thrippy. What do I do? Is this something I should tolerate at all, or should I remove the marker? Let me know in the comment section below. Something about a really dark daylily with that green throat to set off the dark petals that I like. See what happens when your cat gets wild in the morning and leaps over the daylilies and runs through them? Broken scapes. These are really flat, very flat red. With thrips. I suppose I should spray. What could I use? Tell me below. It won't hurt. Hummingbirds and butterflies. This had me laughing so hard when I came out this morning. Teeny, tiny fans and teeny, tiny flowers. It's so sweet that I'm gonna save it. Maybe I should make a little cradle for it or something. I feel like singing it a lullaby. It's so cute. Okay, the moment of truth for the one I made, for the selection I made a whole video on. So the subsequent blooms have been smaller and less ruffled, but I've got a consistent pattern, and it's a multi, and it's just a seedling. So I'll be putting this in a spot where it can flourish better. Still excited. That consistency is hard to come by. Don't you like the contrast of these oranges, and then tucked away behind it is like a cream purple? I've got a lot of variety this year. There's a lot of variety in the garden, in the seedling patch. Variety of colors and shapes and forms. What am I doing back here? I just wanted to look at it again. It's really big. At least 8 inches. And then right next to it, a red. This is what I love about the seedling patch, okay? I'm more interested in the seedling patch than anything. And when I go to a convention, I take a beeline for the seedling patch. There's this mixture of all sorts of things. Nice cinnamon color. Kind of a more masculine color. I like it. I think it would perform like crazy in a garden setting. I keep talking about the perennial border setting for daylilies. I'm a little surprised that people don't talk about it as much, but I had a plant nursery. It was a small enterprise. It was something between like a plant stand and a full-blown nursery. And it was awesome, and I had a great location near Wegmans. and did quite well. But daylilies were part of the perennial lineup, and that starry form was very important to the garden, the composition of the garden, and several different leaf forms and flower forms. Started working hard on the purples again after not doing it for a while. I had a few of Mr. Lambertson's and culled out the evergreens, so that has helped a lot. So here's a new one with some patterning left. So I'm not saying that people should embark on a daily endeavor in order to fulfill an urge for self-expression, because that's certainly not for everybody. Most people are more social than me. I have an artistic temperament that demands a lot of alone time. It's just different people having different reasons. Ah, look at these twins. Just having a good time in the summer sun. Recording in full sun, because let's face it, summer is sunny, and that's how we usually view daylilies, is in the sun. I love that orange, that bright orange right above the green. I can see that people have been calling daylilies girls lately. And she, the pronoun she, but they're really they, them, because they are bisexual. Oh, isn't that terrible? But that is what it's called in the plant world. And by the way, I took a whole year of botany in college. I have a 2-year degree. So there's some stuff I know that I might know. And I was a little taken aback by people assuming that I was just starting out. Okay, so here's a little tip. If you're hybridizing for white, and there's much yellow, going from yellow, it's always going to come through as cream. But if you arrive at it from a pinkish point, more pinkish, the green throat will indicate to your eye more of a whiteness, even though there's a little pink left. And this is a dilute flower. I think Bob would have loved this. It's got a great scape too. This select is kind of breaking my heart because it's not branching at all, but I don't know. It's got scape density. It's huge flowers, so beautifully presented. I love the green throats. I don't know. I just enjoy it. This is how big the blooms are. And the one with the lower bud count. It's very showy and graceful, and I like these extended sepals. Here's a bright and chipper seedling out of Anne Marie Ittner by Michael Miller. First to bloom in the garden, so I enjoy it a lot early on. Airplane lessons over my house. This will be introduced this fall. I have enough to sell. So nice gold with a pattern. And the way jeans segregate, I usually get a chestnut pattern eye with brayer petals.